Information shared on the following program is for general information purposes only. It does not constitute legal, tax, investment, or other advice, nor is it intended to recommend any particular investments, products, or financial instruments. Always seek advice from your financial advisor, attorney, or accountant with regard to investment, legal, or tax questions.
Welcome to the only show in the country dedicated to helping savers worry less about money, the Worry-Free Retirement, with your host, nationally recognized retirement specialist and six-time author and fiduciary, Tony Walker.
Some 12 years ago, armed with a degree in psychology and intrigued by the fact that so many people who said they did not like taking risk with their money kept taking risk with it, I was greatly influenced at the time by this book written by famed investor Benjamin Graham entitled The Intelligent Investor, a book that attempted to explain in part why savers would be willing to take risk by investing in things they didn't understand. Graham's book and his findings revealed that I thought to be true all along as well, that most people are not wired for risk, but rather they are wired for safety. I became so consumed with a better understanding of why so many people do take risk, when they don't have to, of course, that I wrote a book called The 3 Personalities of Money, and also spent a great deal of time and money by hiring a couple of psychology professors who hailed from my alma mater, Western Kentucky University, to help me create a test, actually more of a quiz, if you will, that would help people discover and confirm their true financial personality. Now, after all this research, I concluded that when you boil it all down, there are really only 3 types of financial personalities that we can fall into, predominantly speaking, of course. We are either a saver, an investor, or a speculator. And how did this simple little 5-minute quiz change the way myself, my staff, and my clients view money in retirement? Well, we're about to find out. Well, welcome, folks, to the Worry-Free Retirement. And yes, I am that little man in the sweater vest, financial personality specialist and full-time fiduciary, Tony Walker. And before I demonstrate live on the air how the 3 Personalities of Money quiz can help you determine your financial personality, so of course you can invest in the things you understand, let me introduce to you in the studios on this beautiful November 26, 2024, America's favorite financial sidekick, Mr. Aaron Orander. Good morning, Aaron.
Hey, good morning, sir, and good morning, audience.
And sorry to catch you off guard. We were planning the TV show. If you don't know, folks, we do have a TV show, and we record a TV show and a radio show every week here in our Louisville studios. And I kind of popped on here and I said, hey, Aaron, guess what? You're going to be on the radio show. He's done this a million times. He'll be fine. But I think, Aaron, what I wanted to do, I'll get into a little bit of the definitions, and then I'll bring Aaron back in. So basically, let me just kind of define as best I can in this brief period of time the 3 different financial personalities. And you've heard this before, right, Aaron?
Yes, sir.
Okay, here we go, though. This is good. First, the saver, and I love this quote. Remember the quote by Will Rogers Aaron always used to define a saver? Can you quote it verbatim?
Maybe not verbatim. I could thumb my way through it. It's someone who is they're more interested in the return of their money than the return on their money.
Very good. Yeah. So a saver, and I'm a saver, basically, works hard, saves hard. I just don't like losing a lot of money. So that would be a saver. Okay. The investor personality, and we're going to get in more later, my late great father-in-law, Bill Moore, who got me in this business in 1984. But it would be like a Bill Moore characteristic, a personality, someone who is a researcher. They are okay. And here's the key word, Aaron, calculated risks. They're okay. But what would you say in your own words? What does that mean by calculated risks?
Well, they're not like heading to, they're not heading to Vegas and just letting it all ride. I mean, they're doing their research probably. They're looking at like, okay, what's the best product for me and how can I get the most?
Yeah, no, that's really good. So that leads to our next personality, and Aaron touched on it. That would be the investor. Now, it's interesting, folks. When I had Western Kentucky, those 2 professors I contracted with, I mean, we spent a lot of money. I mean, you were working at the TV station I was on back in 2013, Aaron. I think you may have remembered that. In fact, we gave away $25 gift cards to anybody who would take this test because these professors said, Tony, we don't mind putting a quiz together for you, but we need a minimum of 100 people to take this test to ferret it out. And that became a very expensive proposition. But so I was on this large major network that Aaron worked at back then. We pitched the idea of anybody that wanted to help us create this test. The psychology professors got in touch with them. We sent them a $25 gift card, and voila. I mean, this little test is magnetic. It's amazing. And so that's why we created this. It's called the 3 Personalities of Money quiz. And if you want to check it out now, you can, but I'd rather you wait till the end of this radio show, because I'm going to challenge everyone to take this free 5-minute quiz after we do. That's right, in just a second. Aaron's going to take it live on the air, and then I'm actually going to take it through the eyes and ears and perspective of my late great father-in-law and try to answer the questions the way he thinks he would have answered the question. So here's the key. No matter whether you're a saver, investor, or speculator, you need to stay tuned, because if you are retired or just a few years away from retirement, or maybe you've recently been offered a buyout. I had somebody in the office yesterday caught off guard and their employer offered them a buyout. I mean, looks like they're going to be retiring at age 57. Then you need to stay tuned, because we're getting ready to take this little quiz called the 3 Personalities of Money. So stay tuned. I'm Tony Walker. You are listening to the Worry-Free Retirement. We'll be right back.
Have you recently retired, been laid off, or offered a pension buyout? Has the company you work for moved, been acquired, or closed its doors forever? And finally, do you have a 401k with a previous employer you'd like to move to safer territory? Then take advantage of this opportunity to move your 401k or lump sum pension to Tony Walker Financial. Let's meet in person to discuss your retirement options. Log on now to TonyWalkerFinancial.com to schedule your free, no-obligation appointment. Let us help you today.
Welcome back to the Worry-Free Retirement. In case you're just now joining us, we're talking about the concept I created years ago called the 3 Personalities of Money, and how we at Tony Walker Financial use this principle to determine whether someone's personality is a fit for our services, or, and again, we only work with savers at Tony Walker Financial, or possibly if that person is better suited to those who might serve the needs of investors and speculators. That would be more of the brokerage world or the stock market world, if you will. Now, here's the thing, folks. The financial world doesn't care what financial personality you are. Instead, they use something for everyone they meet. It's just almost kind of comical, called a risk tolerance questionnaire, which in the end, at least most of them that I've seen, and we'll see this in a second, assumes, listen closely, that everyone is okay with some risk, which that's not the case. I've met thousands of people over the years. There's some people that want zero risk. So basically, there's 2 types of risk in understanding human behavior and how we handle risk, and that will help us determine different decisions we're going to make or products to invest in. So to help us just very briefly understand the 2 different types of risk, I'm now going to turn it over to fellow fiduciary Wes Walker for more on this subject.
Yeah, so when evaluating somebody's ability and willingness to take risk, we use 2 different terms. One's called risk tolerance, and the other one is called risk capacity. Risk tolerance is somebody's willingness to bear risk. So if they're okay having a big allocation of stocks or even more aggressive assets. Somebody's risk capacity is whether they are actually able to take that kind of risk given their asset levels and their time horizons. Just as an example, you might have, say, an older widower who has very little in assets. They might tell you that, yeah, I have a really high risk tolerance, but unfortunately, they don't have a very high ability to take risk because they'll need the money sooner than later, and it's really all the savings they have. Juxtapose that with a married couple with all sorts of money invested, they still might say we have a very low risk tolerance. They don't like to see the money moving around a lot, and they don't like a lot of volatility. In that case, they would have a high ability to take risk, but their risk tolerance would still be low.
Oh, by the way, as we record the show at the end of November of 2024, talking about savers rushing out to speculate with their money. I guess once a week, somebody asks me, should they be investing in 2 of the most popular speculative items on the market today, one being gold and the other Bitcoin. And while I'm not going to tell anybody not to invest in anything, folks, you have to understand both of those types of investments are very speculative. They can go way up very quickly and they can go down very quickly. So all I would say If you're a saver, yeah, maybe put a little bit in there, but be very, very careful because those are what we would call speculative investments. And before we get into taking this test, we are going to, Aaron Orender, who's with me in the studio, is going to take the pop quiz. We call the 3 Personalities of Money quiz. Again, it only takes 5 minutes, folks. In fact, after we finish the show, if you're in a hurry and you need to run, you can take it. We're not going to chase you down. We're not going to call you or bug you. If you want to take this test, you just log on to the number 3personalities.com, 3personalities.com. You can take the test, and again, it's going to tell you your predominant financial personality. And if you are a saver and you feel like you need an advisor you can trust or want a second opinion, let us know. If you're an investor or speculator, it's probably we're not going to be a good fit. That's okay. However, Aaron, I do need to preface this. We are having more and more people in retirement, and it's usually one spouse. One spouse who handles the money is kind of an investor. That would make sense, wouldn't it? Don't you think? If,
yep.
They're in their mid-60s. They've gotten quite a bit of money in their 401k. And then what's funny, if I'm meeting with both spouses, the other spouse, if I start kind of questioning them, guess what they are? You think they're investors? Nope. Savers. It's funny. So I always ask the saver spouse what he or she will do if their investor spouse dies first. Most of them are scared to death. They don't know what to do. Now, I bet there's not a week that goes by. Again, folks, I'm meeting 20 to 30 people. A lot of these people are new prospects from the radio show or TV show. Not a week goes by. Had a lady called in this week that said, I am nervous as I can be. My husband passed away. His money's over to stockbroker. I don't understand anything. They're talking above my heads. I got to get this stuff in safer territory and get with somebody that can explain this stuff. And that might be you. Life circumstances may have changed. You may have lost a spouse, divorced, widowed. You're single. Or maybe you're that investor who's getting up in years and you're like, man, I've never thought of this. If something happens to me, my spouse, there's no way they're going to be able to handle these finances. So before we get into the pop quiz here, if you have any interest in a second opinion or simply just talking to me, we've made this real easy. We call it the free 10-minute fiduciary phone call. Just log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com, TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Click on that Let's Get Started, or you can call us anytime to arrange this free phone call with me at 877-499-9255. All right, we've got Aaron Orender in here. It's crunch time, Aaron. I'm going to ask you these questions. Folks, and we're going to go through this pretty quickly, just in the essence of time. This is going to show you how easy it is. Again, your predominant personality. It could vary a little bit. This will give you a good idea of what you should be investing in based on who you are. Aaron, I know, I'm sorry. I'm loving covering this subject. This is so much fun. I was looking through my book that I wrote, The 3 Personalities of Money. There is a book, folks. You can buy it on Amazon or any major bookseller. Look at what Warren Buffett, one of his quotes I dragged off of that and put it on chapter 4. Listen to this, Aaron. Warren Buffett, obviously a master investor who also was trained under Benjamin Graham, says this: define what you don't know as well as what you do know, and stick to what you know. Isn't that pretty good?
Yeah. Stick to what you know.
Yeah. Why would you be doing things that you don't understand, like putting all of your money in the stock market when you're a saver? Oh, here's another thing. In the back of this book, The 3 Personalities of Money, again, which is a great little book, I remember interviewing people that I met out of the blue, and this gentleman that I met with used to be in commodities. Now, that's pretty speculative, trading in pork bellies and all that stuff. And I love what he said here. He said, now this was somebody that was in that field. Now that he got older, he said, the only hog I want to invest in is the pound of bacon at the grocery store. Drum roll. That sounds like something Ma Joe would have liked. All right. So here we go, Aaron. Okay, we're at the 3 Personalities site. Again, it's 3personalities.com. You ready?
Let's go.
All right. If given a choice between high-risk, high-yield investments and low-risk, low-yield investments, I would choose the latter. Now, folks, what he's going to answer is anywhere from strongly agree down to strongly disagree. So, Aaron, what would you choose there?
I would choose strongly agree.
Very good. Number 2, I would rather spend time doing things I enjoy, like fishing, and I know you like hunting, as opposed to spending my time researching things that are complex, like stocks, for instance.
I would agree with that.
Okay, I'll just put agree. Yeah, folks, again, it's strongly disagree, neither agree nor disagree, agree, and strongly agree. And again, if you're just now joining us, you're like, what is this test? Again, I spent a lot of money to have objective researchers at Western Kentucky University in their psychology department. I have a degree in psychology from Western. They came up with a test. I didn't. I'm not trying to pigeonhole people. I want to honestly know if people are wired for safety or if they're okay with risk. Number 3, Aaron, if I had a windfall gain, like a bonus or inheritance or winnings, I would put that money back into the same venture I felt that upheld upside potential rather than putting it in a safe option. So all of a sudden you get a $50,000 inheritance. Would you put it at risk or put it a little more in a safe spot?
I would put it in a safe spot.
Okay.
So
that'd be disagree.
That would be disagree, yeah.
Okay, good.
We'll
All
say
right.
disagree.
Yeah, you got to look at these pretty closely. Read them closely as you're going through this, folks. Number 4, I am an emotional buyer. I cannot afford some of the things I have, but I make purchases anyway and just hope things will work out. That'd be strongly disagree.
That would be a strongly disagree. Go all the way to the left on that one.
I know you too well. Okay. I am more likely to buy stock rather than a guaranteed investment or savings product, and I'd rather buy an option even over a stock.
Now, I would say disagree on that. I would rather have some type of guaranteed investment.
Okay, keep going. Good job. 6, I can accept losses more easily than others can.
Ooh. I'll put disagree on that.
Okay. I'm a thrill seeker.
Not really. I would put disagree, honestly.
I enjoy analyzing buying decisions based on research.
Now, I do research a little bit, so I would either say neither agree nor disagree, honestly.
Okay.
I'd probably go in the middle on that one.
Okay. I like guarantees.
Oh, strongly agree.
I have no problem taking advantage of the situation at hand.
I have no problem taking advantage of this.
It's kind of an opportunist. Remember, this is kind of financially oriented a little
Yeah,
bit.
I honestly, I'd probably just say disagree.
Yeah, I don't think that's you.
Yeah.
Okay. I will take a chance once in a while if I've done my homework.
I'd agree on that.
Okay. Keep going. And we're almost finished, folks. Hang in there with us. And we're getting ready to take the test from what my perspective would have been if my father-in-law, Bill Moore, were here. And I think we'll know where this comes at. All right. Number 12. Almost done, folks. I want financial products that are very predictable.
Yes, I do. I would say
agree?
strongly agree.
Okay. Strongly agree. Okay. Yeah. I'm an impulse buyer.
No.
Disagree.
Disagree.
I can't. When challenged, I do not know the real details of the true impact of current events on financial markets. So if I start asking you,
I mean, I would probably go in the middle of that. I'd probably put neither agree nor disagree.
Okay. The expression no risk, no reward definitely fits me.
Not really. Yeah, I would say disagree on that.
And in the old, I think it's Ben Franklin, apparently he got dubbed this phrase, a penny saved is a penny earned.
Agree.
Okay. So then all I do, folks, now I'm going down to next. It's going to calculate, boom, congratulations, your predominant personality is a saver. So it doesn't really surprise you, does it? But that's all there is to it, folks. So in this case, let's say Aaron's out here shopping around. He's been to 40 dinner seminars and universities and libraries and Googled all kinds of stuff on retirement. He's confused to death. I would say, Aaron, before you do anything, start here. Because if you don't know your financial personality, then you're not going to be sure what products really fit you. Doesn't that make sense? That's almost fundamental. So when I come back, folks, this will be interesting. Again, my late great father-in-law, who I admired very much, Mr. Bill Moore, who got me in this business in 1984, was a very analytical man. He was a very good investor. Obviously, I'm giving this away, but I'm going to take this same test just to show you that it's very objective, how he would answer these same questions, and let's confirm if, in fact, he was either a saver, investor, or speculator. I'm Tony Walker. You're listening to The Worry-Free Retirement. We'll be right back. Whether you're a long-time viewer of The Worry-Free Retirement or just catching it for the first time, know this: you can watch past episodes and educational clips by visiting our YouTube channel. Just log on to youtube.com and search Tony Walker Financial.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Worry-Free Retirement. I am America's favorite financial sidekick, Mr. Aaron Ornder, but for the next few minutes or so, I'm going to be playing Mr. Tony Walker, okay? Tony will be playing the role of his father-in-law, Mr. Bill Moore. We're going to see how well his acting skills are. No, I'm just kidding, folks. But what I'm going to do is now we're going to flip the script a little bit, and I'm going to ask Tony the questions, and we'll see what Mr. Moore's predominant personality was. Are we ready? Here we go. And one more time, folks, to take this test, just go to 3personalities.com. That's the number 3 and the word personalities.com. Okay, here we go. Number 1, if given the choice between a high-risk, high-yield investment and a low-risk, low-yield investment, I would choose the latter.
Okay, I'm Mr. Moore. No, I would not choose the latter. I would go with high risk. So I'm actually going to disagree on that one.
Okay, moving on. Number 2, I would rather spend time doing things I enjoy, like fishing, being with my family, as opposed to spending time trying to learn about things that appear too complex, like researching stocks.
Now that's interesting. This is Mr. Moore speaking. He loved to fish. So he would have done some fishing, but I know for a fact he loved researching stocks. In fact, I can remember him dragging out that old, did you ever see the Consumer Reports magazines, Aaron? Do you remember
I do
those?
remember those, yes.
Oh my gosh, he would research, was there 3 different washing machines back then, but he was a researcher. So we're going to disagree on that one.
Okay. Number 3, if I had a windfall gain, like I got a bonus or an inheritance, I would put that money back into a venture I felt had upside potential rather than placing it in a safe option.
I would strongly agree. Mr. Moore had one particular stock he loved that paid a huge amount of dividends, and I know for a fact he would pour that right back into the same venture. So let's strongly agree on that one.
Number 4, I am an emotional buyer. I cannot afford some of the things I have, but I make purchases anyway because, well, at some point it will all work itself out.
That's the opposite.
It's hard to even say out loud when you're not that way. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, so I would strongly disagree. He was a man of research. He didn't waste much money buying things. Now, me, on the other hand, Aaron, my greatest example of impulse buying, because I do like to spend money, folks. I'm a saver. I won't go into detail, but remember the story of the $2,000 batting cage and batting machine I bought?
Yes, I've heard this a handful of times. Yeah, it's a good one, folks.
The local birds and possums loved it and getting caught up in it. It was a blast. But go ahead.
Okay. Number 5, I am more likely to buy a stock rather than a guaranteed investment or savings product and an option rather than a stock.
Okay, I would agree with that, but not strongly agree, because actually Mr. Moore, he liked some safe stuff. In fact, he had an annuity back then. So even though he was, an investor type personality, there were times when he did like the safe stuff. So I'll just put agree there.
Okay, moving on. Number 6, I can accept losses more easily than others can.
Agree, yep.
Okay, number 7, I am a thrill seeker.
I strongly disagree, yep.
All right. Number 8, I enjoy analyzing buying decisions based on research.
i.e. Consumer Reports, and Mr. Moore burying his head in those magazines, strongly agree.
Okay, got it. Number 9, I like guarantees.
Well, he had some. I'm going to put neither agree nor disagree there.
Okay. Moving on, number 10, I have no problem taking advantage of the situation at hand.
And the reason I would say agree, Mr. Moore was pretty good. I remember he found down in Fort Myers a condo he wanted, and I remember the condo had units really inexpensive, and he bought that puppy, which was a smart move. But I would say that's an example of taking the situation at hand.
Okay. Number 11, I will take a chance once I have done my homework.
I'm not going to put strongly agree for him, but I will put agree.
Okay. Moving on. Number 12, I want financial products that are very predictable.
I'm going to say neither disagree or agree. He would say that even this one stock he had that paid really good dividends, although it fluctuated a lot in value, I think he felt it was a pretty predictable purchase. So we'll put that one in the middle.
Okay. Number 13, I am an impulse buyer.
Strongly disagree.
Number 14, when challenged, I do not know the real details or the true impact of current events on financial markets.
Disagree. He kept up with financial markets very well.
Number 15, the expression no risk, no reward definitely fits me.
Agree.
And our last question, number 16, a penny saved is a penny earned.
He would agree with that, but I don't think like a saver would. So I'm going to put neither agree nor disagree. All I'm going to do, folks, again, I'm at 3, and the number 3, personalities.com. You can take this same test. We're not going to hound you. We're not going to bug you. I really encourage you, if you're retired or nearing retirement, you need to take this test. Okay, I'm pretending I'm the late, great Mr. Moore. I hit next, and let's see what we come up with. There it is. Your predominant personality is an investor. So there you have it, folks. If you're looking for a tool to help you really get started in navigating this thing called retirement, I would highly recommend you do this first. Take the 3personalitiesofmoney.com, 3personalities.com, the Personalities of Money quiz, all right? Then if you are a saver, or maybe if you're kind of between a saver and investor, please contact us at TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Just click on that Let's Get Started. Let's just have a phone call to see how you're doing, what your plans are for retirement, and to see if we can help you be worry-free in it. Now, when I come back, a real quick example of something I want to show you that's going to help demonstrate what happened with the Wall Street's target date funds in the year 2022 versus our exclusive split IRA concept. I'm Tony Walker. We'll be right back.
Looking to roll over your 401k? Then log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com and learn just how easy it is to roll over and safeguard your 401k. Do it today.
Welcome back to the Worry-Free Retirement. I had this question the other day, and it was basically this. Tony, I know you work with savers and you don't like taking a lot of risk, so what is up with this Charles Schwab platform? Isn't that stocks, bonds, mutual funds, etc.? Well, it kind of is. Charles Schwab is a custodian we use. We're not employed by Schwab. We are fiduciaries, and we love their services because of their low cost. But basically, we have the Charles Schwab part of our split IRA so that we can provide some liquidity, get access to the money without penalty, and if somebody wants to take a little risk, we can do that. It's very easy to do with Schwab. Now, what I was going to do here in our remaining 2 minutes, this is very interesting because what Wall Street's reaction to those who say, I don't want a lot of risk, are these newfangled target funds, target date funds. And what was interesting, the target date fund of 2025, which we would assume, that means in 2025 you're going to retire, which is just 1 year away, you would assume that that would be very safe. But in 2022, the average target date fund from Wall Street, and we'll just use $1 million so I can do the math real quick. From Wall Street, if you had $1 million, okay, would have gone down 20%. Let me repeat that. $1 million in the year 2022 would have dropped to about $800,000. Aaron's sitting here. What do you think of that, Aaron, as a saver?
Wouldn't you just shivering?
And again, if maybe you're Aaron's age, possibly you're okay with that. He's in his 40s, but if you're retired or nearing retirement, yeah, I'd be shivering too. So what happened with our split IRA? Well, let's assume someone put 60% of their assets into fixed annuities. And let's just say they average 2% in the year. I'm being very conservative. 2% during 2022. This would be a combination of fixed indexed annuities and fixed interest annuities. Okay, so you made 2% on $600,000. That's $12,000, but you didn't lose anything. And then no fees on that either, by the way. This doesn't even count fees. So no fees on the 600. Then we take 400 and we put it in our moderate strategy, which is roughly about 50% in the market. And our moderate strategy, we know this for a fact, went down about 10% in 2022. But remember, that was only 40% of the overall 1 million. So we had 600 plus 12, right? We lost 10% of 400 or 40,000. Not great. I wasn't happy about that, Aaron. But our clients knew that. They knew the risk of that portion. It was just a piece of the pie, folks. We're not risking the whole pie here. But in that example, person A, who had the target fund, would have about 800,000 after that original million. We would have roughly about 965,000. Not bad in comparison. So the key is, folks, first figure out your financial personality, then get with a retirement planning firm who is a fiduciary, who's been doing this stuff for years. Folks, I've met in person with nearly 20,000 savers. I've overseen and orchestrated more than 5,000 written game plans. I see 20 to 30 people a week. I know what I'm doing in this area of retirement planning. So if you're a saver, retired or retiring soon, want a second opinion, a free second opinion, why don't you do this right now? Log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com, TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Click on that Let's Get Started or call us anytime. We have operators standing by 24/7. The number's 877-499-9255. Well, we hope you've enjoyed today's program. We've enjoyed being with you, but you remember, between now and next week, if all else fails, you be worry-free and you make it a good one.